1 week later.
Yes, that's right guys, it has been a week since we fitted the bull bar, and as you can tell from the last video, we didn't get a chance to fit the winch last time, so that's what we're going to do here today. That's what this video is about. And what I'm about to do is just unpack everything that came in the box. There we see the Fairlead VRS Fairlead, because it is a VRS 12,500 pound winch. That is kind of overkill for a car this size, but I figured since a lot of the off-road trips we're going to be doing are along with Chad the Mav, I just needed to make sure that we had something strong enough to pull the Maverick out if we need to. It is pretty capable off-road, but you never know. We see there the control box for the winch comes with the cables all pre-installed. That'll be the first thing we put on the bull bar, just to make sure there's room for everything. So what I'll do now is just unbox everything that comes with the winch, so that you'll know exactly what to expect when doing this sort of install at home. Here we go. Okay, so next up we have our mounting hook and a little strap that comes with it. Now nuts and bolts, all our fasteners for mounting the winch. Next up we've got our mounting bracket for the control box. Nice bit of instructions there, because we totally read those. Always read those. Nah, not really. What do we have next here? Oh yes, our earth strap. Totally, very important that is. Making sure we've got a good clean earth. Super important with something high voltage like this. And we have our controller. Nothing fancy there, just a simple in and out. That's all we need. And then, if I remember correctly, we have the winch in all its glory. We don't need the plastic. Go on, get rid of the plastic. Don't need that. Here's the winch. Big hoofer, 12,500 pounds. Absolute overkill, as I mentioned before, but it's good to have it. And we have our little switch on the side there for our engage or free spool mode. And alright, so let's fit it up. Now we see here these square nuts. Now those are used to hold the winch in place. What we're going to do with those is just have a little segment I'm going to call Red Panda's Words of Wisdom. Now for those who didn't know, Joel is a very experienced accessory fitter. He worked at ARB for quite a while, so he's fitted many bull bars and winches in his day. One thing he let me know about is this little trick here. Now before you fit a winch to a vehicle, what you're supposed to do is just dummy fit all of the nuts and bolts that hold it on, and then what you can do is hold those square nuts in place with just a big dab of black silicone. Nothing fancy, just a regular black silicone you get from any hardware store. And what that'll do is hold the nut in place so that you don't have to wedge your fingers between the winch and the bull bar when fitting the nuts and bolts to hold it on. So just getting everything in place here just to make sure everything stays still. So we're going to wait until that dries before we actually put the winch in the bull bar. And yeah, having that silicone there to hold the nut in place will make putting the winch in and putting the bolts in much easier. Lucky that's made of plastic. It just stuff it straight in there and it bends. Beautiful.
Plastic, fantastic.
And now, for your viewing pleasure, man with giant fat fingers works in small, tight space. Enjoy. place, it is time to mount the winch. Now, it is undoubtedly a two-person job here because, as you can see, I'm underneath the bull bar here holding the winch, and up it goes. Yeah, definitely need a second person here to tighten the bolts and feed the rope through. And from there, it's a simple case of tightening up the bolts. Remember, we have our nuts already in place with the black silicone, and just tighten everything up and you're good to go. So as you can see, we are almost done at this point, guys. All that was left to do, as you can see, what we're doing here is run the positive and negative cables from the control box to the battery, and then the 3 cables that come out of the control box go into the back of the winch, as you can see here. And from there, we're all done. All that's left to do is give it a test.